Hello, this is Matthew Bono, instructor of Methods in Music for Guitar, and today's lesson will be on page 65, where we'll be studying playing chords on strings 1 through 3. There will be major chords in A major, which will be called A, D, and E. And our rhythm that we're going to be playing for this first exercise on page 65 will be a whole note on an A chord, which will be for 4 counts. And after that will be 2 half notes, which each get 2 counts apiece, before we repeat back and start the pattern again on A chord. The tablature reading, and it's down here, that would list the fret number from skinniest string to the thickest, which would be string 1, string 2, string 3 will read like this: open, 2, 2, and then we'll be sliding up to play 5, 7, 7, and slide up a little more for the E chord, which will be located at 7, 9, 9. We'll start with an open, and we're going to get 2 fingers in position for the A chord that we'll use later. They will be the ring finger on the 2nd string and the middle finger on the 3rd string. So the opening chord, which has an open E or open 1st string, will sound like this. Now when we slide up to the next chord, we'll take those same 2 fingers, the ring on the 2nd string, middle on the 3rd, we'll slide that up to fret 7, and that'll leave the point finger to play on fret 5 of the 1st string. And that will be our shape when all 3 fingers are pressing down on the fretboard. And then we'll just slide that up to another set of dots, which will be fret 7, 9, 9 for the E chord. And this would be the fingering. Let me demonstrate this for a moment. So I'll do it with timing. You just follow along. So the beginning of page 65, on the top row, the first 2 measures would go, ready, follow, A chord, 2, 5 and 7 for D, 7 and 9 for E, back to open and 2 for A chord, and then we go 5 and 7 for D, and 7 and 9 for E, and back to open and 2 for the A chord. So that will be our sounds that we'll be playing major chords on strings 1 through 3. So this time I'd like you to play along with me, and we'll be doing it a few times where I match what you're doing. And then after that, I'll be switching to some standard chords to support you while you continue with the notes that are written on page 65, okay? So I'm going to count you off, and you could start after that, okay? Here it comes. 1, 2, 0 and 2 for A. 5 and 7 for D. 7 and 9 for E. Open and 2 for A. 2, 5 and 7 for D. 7 and 9 for E. 0 and 2 for A. 5 and 7 for D. 7 and 9 for E. Open and 2 for A. 5 and 7 for D. 7 and 9 for E, 0 and 2 for A, 5 and 7 for D, 7 and 9 for E, 0 and 2 for A, 5 and 7 for D, 7 and 9 for E, 0 and 2 for A, 5 and 7 for D, 7 and 9 for E, 0 and 2 for A, 5 and 7 for D, 7 and 9 for E, 0 and 2 for A. And that'll be our first exercise for playing A, D, and E chord. So, A chord below, starting a new exercise, will be a whole note for 4 counts. Just a reminder of the fingering, it'll be O, 2 and 2. And this time we're going to go up to the E chord, which will be frets 7, 9, and 9. So frets 7 and 9 are both dots on the guitar. It'll just start up a little bit higher. And then we'll go down just a little bit. By the way, the E chord will be a half note for 2 counts. The D chord will be a half note for 2 counts. And that's where we'll slide down just a little bit for frets 5, 7, and 7 before we would repeat and go back to the beginning of the pattern on the A chord. So let me demonstrate just once, just so you could see the measurement of how far you move before we play together. So it'll be A chord on O2, and then we do 7, 9 for E, 5 and 7 for D, O and 2 for A, and then it's up to 7, 9 for E, down to 5 and 7 for A, and finish on O and 2. Alright? This time we'll play it together, and I'll ask you to match me with the music that's on the page 65. And then after that, I want you to continue while I play a chord progression to support you with the same matching names of A and E, just played lower. Okay, I'm going to count you off. Here it comes. A chord for 4 counts. 1, 2, O and 2 for A. Go. 7, 9 for E. 5 and 7 for D. O and 2 for A. 7, 9 for E. 5 and 7 for D, O and 2 for A. 7, 9 for E, 5 and 7 for D, O and 2 for A. 7, 9 for E, 5 and 7 for D, O and 2 for A. 7, 9 for E, 5 and 7 for D, O and 2 for A. 7, 9 for E, 5 and 7 for D, O and 2 for A. 7, 9 for E, 5 and 7 for D, O and 2 for A. 7, 9 for E, 5 and 7 for D, O and 2 for A. And that will be the major chords for strings 1 and 3 in A major. On the next row of page 65, we'll be learning how to play the minor chords that are used in A major on strings 1 and 3. Their names will be called B minor, C sharp minor, and F sharp minor. The tab markings for these chords would read like this. It would be 2, 3, 4 for B minor, 4, 5, 6 for C sharp minor, and 9, 10, 11 for F sharp minor. So with the fingering of B minor being 2, 3, 4 on the fretboard, the way it would look on the guitar is fret 2 on the first string, played by the point finger, fret 3 on the second string, played by the middle finger, and fret 4 of the third string, played by the ring finger. So there will be this nice diagonal row to help us play the minor chords here for this particular grouping or inversion. Alright, so B minor would be 2, 3, 4. Fret 3 is marked by a dot in the middle of the fingering, or the middle of the groove. C sharp minor, 4, 5, 6, will have fret 5 as a dot, again in the middle of the grouping. On the last one, F sharp minor, 9, 10, 11. Fret 9 will be the dot, which will be the lowest fret of the group. Alright, so the other two fingers will be past that particular dot. Alright, so let me demonstrate the timing for you, where we would go, ready, and follow, B minor, C sharp minor, F sharp minor. And it's back to 2, 3, 4 for B, 4, 5, 6 for C sharp, 9, 10, 11 for F sharp. And I'll go do it one more time. 2, 3, 4 for B minor, 4, 5, 6 for C sharp minor, 9, 10, 11 for F sharp minor. And that will be the shape of these chords that are played on strings 1 through 3. This time I'd like you to join in and play along with me as we play this pattern. We'll play it at least a couple times where you and I will do it together. And after that, I want you to continue with that fingering while I'll play some lower chords to support you as you play B minor, C sharp minor, and F sharp minor. Okay? I'll count you off. Here comes B minor. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, B minor, go. 4, 5, 6 for C sharp. 9, 10, 11. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me try that again. With playing the same thing. Ready? 2, 3, 4, go. 4, 5, 6 for C sharp, 9, 10, 11 for F sharp. Back to 2, 3, 4 for B minor. 4, 5, 6 for C sharp minor, 9, 10, 11 for F sharp minor. Again, 2, 3, 4 for B minor, 4, 5, 6 for C sharp minor, 9, 10, 11 for F sharp minor. 2, 3, 4 for B minor, 4, 5, 6 for C sharp minor, 9, 10, 11 for F sharp minor. Back to 2, 3, 4 for B minor. Go. C sharp minor on 4, 9 starts F sharp, 2, 3, 4 for B minor, 4, 5, 6 for C sharp, and 9, 10 for F sharp minor. 2, 3, 4 for B minor, 4, 5, 6 for C sharp minor, 9, 10, 11 for F sharp minor, 2, 3, 4 for B minor, 4, 5, 6 for C sharp minor, 9, 10, 11 for F sharp minor. And that's our first exercise, playing minor chords in the key of A major for strings 1 and 3. We're going to use these same chords one more time, just to play in a different pattern, and have our hands practice playing in moving in a different direction. Okay? So, the minor chords in A major, B minor, C sharp, F sharp minor for strings 1 and 3 will be played, or is written, like this. F sharp minor, the whole note for 4 counts will be 9, 10, 11. And then we have C sharp minor, which is 4, 5, 6, which gets 2 counts, as marked by the half note. And B minor is also a half note marked for 2 counts, which will be played as 2, 3, 4. So we play the repeat and move back to the beginning of the pattern, starting on the F sharp minor on 9, 10, 11 again. Okay? So let me just give you a reminder of the location of these chords. For F sharp minor, which is 9, 10, and 11, point, middle, and ring, fret 9 will be the dot. That'll be our starting spot. When we move down to C sharp minor, our low notes on fret 4, 5 will be a dot. And the third string will be followed by fret 6. And B minor will start with fret 2, with fret 3 as the dot, fret 4 as the last one on the third string. Okay? Let me demonstrate for just a few times, and then we'll go ahead and play it. So F sharp minor is 9, 10, 11, with the dot on 9. Then C sharp minor starts with 4, and B minor starts with 2. And then we go back to 9 for F sharp minor, and C sharp minor starts with fret 4, B minor will start with fret 2, and F sharp minor will start with fret 9 on the dot, okay? This time I'd like you to play along with me, and we'll do it a few times together, and then I'll have you continue while I play a chord progression to support you, okay? Starting with F sharp minor on frets 9, 10, and 11, I'll count you off. Here comes 1, 2, F sharp on fret 9, C sharp on fret 4, B minor on 2, F sharp on 9, C sharp on 4, B minor on 2, F sharp on 9, C sharp on 4, B minor on 2, F sharp on 9, C sharp on 4, B minor on 2, back to 9 for F sharp, C sharp on 4, B minor on 2, F sharp on 9, C sharp on 4, B minor on 2, F sharp on 9, C sharp on 4, B minor on 2, F sharp on 9, C sharp on 4, B minor on 2, F sharp on 9. And that's our remaining chord progression that'll be used today on page 65. I want to say thank you for your continued study, your patience with yourself in directing your hands and following the directions of this lesson. I just want to say thank you very much and keep practicing.